Going on, Joe fans? Centex Collector here with another 3D printed project completed. This time I'm calling this my Cobra Scorpion Division VAMP. Since I hadn't printed a VAMP yet, I want to do the Stinger. I was going to do a Stinger, but I like this missile launching system better than the one that's on the Stinger. And we'll get into that. It's probably one of my cleanest, smoothest prints so far. So I'm really stoked about this one, impressed with this one. Just came out really good design. This is the Mark II, but the mail away edition. Apparently the other Mark II looked a little different, but yeah, I like the look of this one. So I only used 3 colors, plus I did PETG translucent for the headlights. I probably could have made some small ones here, but just didn't. In the rear too, I probably could have tried to make something like this, maybe in Tinkercad or something in red to kind of offset it a little bit and give it some more character, but whatever. Tires, of course, in TPU. For some reason, like 3 of my tires, you can kind of see it here, got like slight holes. And the one printed perfectly, just so weird. And I didn't have too much more film TPU to waste, so I figured you can't see the back tire anyway. And then it's aluminum rod. It is a 1/4 inch aluminum rod. I forgot what dimensions I cut it down to, but you see they're fully rotational, front and back, fully rollable. Just beautiful design there. I wish more people designed the rim tire wheel set up that way. You can see right here, axle just slides right through the body, front and back. Not too bad of a print. I'll put the filament in the hours. Again, colors, this is the Bambu matte tan, and I did the tan because I have the Swift that I've made that by Tanner 3D for Joe's. There's the Swift, and then my concept was going to be have this shelf as a desert shelf. So Benny's custom figures, he made me some desert troops like the 25th anniversary. So those are on the way. So like, all right, cool, let me do a Cobra vehicle then, 'cause all I have is Desert Scorpion as a figure, and then Benny hooked it up with some custom troops that are coming. But anyway, Bamboo matte desert tan, and of course the matte charcoal black. And then the brown, I used the Bamboo matte PLA dark brown. So Benny said, just, throw some brown. So basically I did it on the Cobra logo, the Scorpion, and then the gas cans I did in the brown. Just kind of give it just a touch of brown. Everything else tan and black, as you can see. Not too many parts. My biggest issue is the front and back didn't connect really well. Like it should have been flushed. And I don't know if it was my printer, but same thing with the Stinger too. I think it might be the design. So you can see there you got like gapping. So I'm thinking now that I have the monster printer, I'll try to see if I can put the front and back together on one STL and print it on my Anycubic Core Max 3. But overall, just a great print job. But parts wise, 4 tires, 4 rims, and there's caps that go on top of the tires. So the rod slides into the back of the rim, and then the cap, this is a cap that covers that. You got 4 flares around the wheel wells, 2 doors, and this was designed really well. So you have this part here, and then this part here glues into here. So you got really good mechanism on the door. You can see it right there, it glues together. And the dash glues on to this part, and then the steering wheel goes in the dash. You got 2 seat bottoms and backs. And then inside of the interior, there's like a stick shift panel in there. That's another piece. And of course, this top piece here. And then the front and rear bodies that I spoke about earlier. You got this grill, and then this headlight piece, and then this winch piece. So that you have to be careful when you're gluing, because you want to... I put this winch in first, and then this pushes up into a space there, and then you can put your bumper on. Then you can glue this on. So that's why, so you gotta be careful of gluing. This little piece was separate. I probably should have did this in black, but this is a separate piece. The logo I printed out. The shovel is a separate piece. The two headlights I did myself. It was separate from the model. Thought it just looked cool. And then the two doors, I think I mentioned already. And then you have this piece right here. There's two of these. And then you have this piece here is one piece. And a lot of this you probably wouldn't even need glue. I just made sure, but like this piece fit right in there really well. And then this piece snaps back into the back here, so I didn't even use glue for that. And you got two black pieces here, two gas cans, this rear piece right here, and then this piece right here to hold the gas cans in. And then the launcher mount, so you got 4 missiles. You got this launcher piece here, and then this piece here glues onto that. And then there's these two like nut pieces, I guess you'll call it. And that way I just glued that into, put glue on the edge of here. So you still have the mobility of, there we go. Got the mobility of the launcher. And like I said, I went with the VAMP instead of another stingers. A, I hadn't printed a VAMP yet. And B, I like this setup, this turret setup better than the stingers. With this, I just feel the stingers is big and clunky. I do like these doors, but I kind of like the way the stinger door and top is. But anyway, just felt this would be a cool little thing to throw in, because it's not a huge vehicle that I can throw up on that shelf with the Swift. And I might do a Rep Ranger in tan too if I have enough room. We'll see. And then there's Action Force in there for now. You can see, I don't know, looks like, yeah, there you go. I just had to squish them down some more so you can see out the window. But the print quality is just phenomenal. I've learned so much, just how smooth I got that to come out. And I'll show you the stinger that I printed of what I mean by that. So here's my Dreadnought stinger that I printed, because I am horrible at painting, so there's no way I was going to buy a stinger and paint it. But here you can see I have like this stair stepping, and then here it's just completely smooth. And then here I probably didn't print that right orientation. And then I can also see, you can also see like the stepping here on the fender well. So this fender well is able to get perfectly smooth. And then same back here on this back part, you see the stair stepping there. As we're here again, perfectly smooth. And you can see my mess of gluing. So obviously I've gotten a lot better at gluing, putting glue in the right spot. I didn't have any gluing issues here. You can kind of see here, that's because it's down in there. It's down in there, but I can see because I'm a little OCD. But other than that, I don't have the gluing issues here. And it's worse too with the blue, because the dark colors, it really shows out a lot worse. But like I said, this I did in November 2024, so 8 months between the two. So I've learned a lot. And then just like this logo I printed too high. I should have dropped it down to be a lot thinner. Still get a TPU back then though. And then I used that idea for the translucent headlights from here to there. And that's what I mean with this big clunky top. I don't really care for this. So that's why I kind of went with the VAMP. I mean, I probably could do another stinger, and maybe, I don't know if this turret would fit on here. Be cool if it could. I think it actually will now that I'm looking at it. So maybe that'll be another project I do. I print that VAMP turret for the stinger. But you can see side by side, same exact thing. As you know, or you should know, the VAMP was what, 82, 83, 84. The Stinger was a retool of the VAMP. So you have the VAMP Mark 1. This is the Mark 2, and actually the Mail Away Mark 2. And then, of course, we got the Stinger as a retool from the VAMP. And this was just the VAMP was such a fun one. I sold my Hasbro VAMP to my buddy Swag, but I compare this to the Hasbro Stinger real quick, just to show you that it sizes up just fine. So there's the Hasbro Stinger. So you can see these tires are actually wider, but the Hasbro Stinger I think is just a tad bit taller. Yeah, so we look side by side, just a hair taller than my VAMP. Here we go. I'm just super proud of how clean this print came out. I just had like an aha moment while I was printing this with orientation, like Prodigy Prints and Tanner 3D. Ricky Lee have told me about orientation, and I just kind of really had that aha moment when I was printing this and how clean a lot of this stuff came out. Unfortunately, 3D printing, unless you're gonna like fill and sand and paint, you're gonna have, you know, all these little gaps. Or for the most part, the gaps aren't too bad. The main one for me is just this one between the front and rear body. I don't know why it's so bad like that on this design, because the Stinger came out the same way. But yeah, there's my Cobra Scorpion Division VAMP. Like, comment, subscribe. JJ out.